It was the kind of primetime roasting that Meghan Markle likely didn't expect, let alone deserve if she truly believes she's above criticism. But on a recent episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live, political commentator and MSNBC host Chris Hayes took the gloves off and turned the Duchess of Sussex into the punchline of the night. In a searing, sarcastic segment that left the audience howling, Hayes ridiculed Markle's floundering media ventures, from the stillborn podcast Confessions of a Female Founder to the absurdity of her Netflix cooking show that has yet to plate a single meal. Hayes didn't mince words, declaring Meghan's media efforts a masterclass in self-delusion, branding without substance, and celebrity entitlement masquerading as creativity. It wasn't just brutal, it was damning, factual, and devastatingly on point. From the moment Meghan Markle extricated herself and Prince Harry from royal life with the now infamous Megxit, the public was promised a new chapter of empowerment, authenticity, and meaningful content. Instead, what followed has been an unrelenting trail of vacuous projects, self-congratulatory PR spins, and a desperate attempt to cling to relevance using the Sussex title as currency. Hayes' appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live crystallized what critics and audiences have been saying for years: Meghan Markle is all optics, no substance. Her ventures flop not because the world isn't ready for her, but because she chronically overpromises and underdelivers. Take Confessions of a Female Founder, Meghan's latest podcast endeavor, launched after her previous deal with Spotify collapsed. Hailed by Archwell as a trailblazing platform to amplify the voices of entrepreneurial women, the show quickly devolved into a hollow echo chamber. Audiences were promised raw insight into the challenges faced by female business founders, but what they got instead was an overproduced, self-absorbed audio diary where Markle talked more about herself than her guests. Critics immediately noticed the formula. Every episode somehow circled back to Meghan's struggles, privilege-blind reflections, and carefully scripted confessions that sounded more like rehearsed PR copy than personal growth. Chris Hayes didn't shy away from this fiasco. On Kimmel, he sarcastically quipped, "It takes a special kind of talent to make people not want to hear from powerful women talking about business." But Meghan made that happen. Congratulations? The jab landed. Confessions is emblematic of Meghan's entire approach, a glossy, corporate veneer wrapped around empty platitudes and celebrity name drops with very little actual content or originality. Hayes called it a podcast built on privilege and ego, not storytelling or curiosity. And now comes Meghan's next tone-deaf venture, a Netflix cooking and lifestyle show reportedly inspired by Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow. The Duchess, who has no formal culinary background or business in lifestyle media, is said to be launching the show under the banner of her new American Riviera Orchard brand, a venture announced not with a thoughtful trailer or creative preview, but with a bizarre, overly filtered Instagram video of Meghan picking flowers in slow motion. Chris Hayes openly mocked the premise, saying, "We're supposed to believe Meghan Markle is going to teach us how to cook? She's the kind of person who thinks seasoning is a microaggression." The criticism isn't merely comedic, it's valid. Meghan has continuously aligned herself with causes and industries she barely understands, then retreats when the venture collapses. Archwell Audio, Archwell Productions, and even her children's book The Bench have all faced industry skepticism and underwhelming public response. What's left is a trail of broken promises and unmet expectations backed by eye-watering corporate deals that she has spectacularly failed to fulfill. Netflix, which once touted a multi-project collaboration with the Sussexes, is reportedly growing impatient. The couple's $100 million deal has so far yielded a single documentary, Harry and Meghan, that was more grievance-filled memoir than compelling storytelling. The docuseries was watched, yes, but primarily out of voyeuristic curiosity, not admiration. It was, as the Telegraph noted, a 6-hour complaint against the British press with occasional wedding footage thrown in. Since then, the well has run dry. The animated series Pearl, intended to be a feminist children's series starring a character suspiciously similar to young Meghan, was cancelled before a single frame was produced. Hayes, never one to avoid political hypocrisy, drew a brutal parallel between Meghan's faux feminist branding and her actual business practices. "She's selling empowerment but delivering ego," he said. "It's like the TED Talk version of activism, lots of hand gestures, not a lot of action." Even Meghan's personal image, once carefully curated to project relatability, is beginning to unravel under the weight of contradictions. While she lectures the world on privilege and systemic inequality, she flaunts $4,000 Dior coats, promotes a $300 jam jar brand, and resides in a $14 million Montecito mansion funded in part by deals she's failed to fulfill. Hayes' commentary was sharp but accurate. Meghan's the kind of revolutionary who needs a glam squad and a brand strategist before she can stand up for women. To her defenders, the backlash is all about race, class, and misogyny, but the data suggests otherwise. Americans, once captivated by the fairy tale of the biracial duchess who challenged the monarchy, are losing interest fast. A 2024 YouGov poll showed that Meghan's favorability among U.S. adults dropped below 30%, while 55% said they were tired of hearing about her and Harry. British numbers have long been worse, with some tabloids now refusing to even cover her latest projects unless they involve another failure. There's also the growing chorus of celebrities and industry insiders who are finally speaking out. Martha Stewart recently dismissed Meghan's brand as unoriginal, while comedian Jon Stewart tore into the Sussexes for monetizing their grievances and calling it activism. Chris Hayes' segment on Kimmel adds yet another authoritative voice to this reckoning, a moment of public accountability for a woman who has often hidden behind her curated victimhood. None of this is to say that Meghan Markle isn't intelligent or ambitious. She clearly is. But intelligence without self-awareness becomes arrogance, and ambition without purpose devolves into performance. What's so jarring about Markle's trajectory is how little she seems to understand the industries she's entering. She doesn't tell stories, she brands them. She doesn't advocate, she markets. Her activism is product placement. Her feminism is merchandised. What makes the criticism especially valid is that it's no longer coming from tabloid vultures or anonymous internet trolls. It's now coming from journalists, industry veterans, comedians, and cultural commentators who once gave her the benefit of the doubt. Chris Hayes is not a Fox News firebrand. He's an MSNBC liberal, a progressive voice who supported the idea of Meghan challenging royal traditions. But like many, he's seen enough to recognize when the empress has no clothes, just designer ones. Meghan Markle's media empire is collapsing under the weight of its own self-importance. Confessions of a Female Founder is dead on arrival. Her Netflix ambitions are floundering. Her cooking show is already being pre-memed before a single episode airs. Her credibility is shot among industry professionals, and her brand, whatever it stands for, is being mocked in real time on national television. Chris Hayes simply said what many have been thinking: Meghan Markle isn't a victim of media betrayal. She's a case study in overreach, entitlement, and the limits of celebrity as a substitute for talent. And the punchline? She still thinks the world is the problem, not her.